Alrighty, what's going on everybody? Ninja Star here, and today we are back at it again with a Dragon Ball video for you all. Now today's Dragon Ball video is going to be once again talking about Dragon Ball Super. I've been really talking about Dragon Ball Super a lot these past few days and weeks on my channel due to the fact that I'm really starting to feel excited once again towards the series as it once was, and I'm really excited to talk about this topic with you guys because recently in Dragon Ball Super, episode 100 just came out, and a lot of stuff went on in that episode. You guys should definitely check it out if you guys haven't already. But basically, Dragon Ball Super 100 episodes in, there's plenty of stuff to talk about. Like 100 episodes in, that's something never really seen, that's not always that common. It's really interesting to think about. And joining me, I decided this would be really kind of boring if I just talked about all my own, giving just my thoughts. I wanted to bring on some very special guests, and the first guest is a guy who has been on my channel before, and if you guys don't already, make sure to go down in the description, subscribe to not only this guy, but another guy too. Please welcome a man, who's been on my channel, but really dope guy to be on my videos with. Please welcome MJ from GeekListTV. Say what's up, dude.
Yo, man, thank you for having me back on the channel, bro. It's always a pleasure to collab with my favorite ninja.
Yeah, that's MJ right there. And the next guy is a very good friend of mine who hasn't been on my channel before, I believe, but you guys should definitely check him out. He's a really up-and-coming Dragon Ball YouTuber who we enjoy talking with. His videos are so entertaining to watch. Please welcome Rakurai from Rakurai Network. Say what's up, dude.
How's it going? Thank you so much for having me, man. This is awesome. This is awesome. Like you said, this is the first time, so this is gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah, so basically we're all going to give a little bit of our input on this whole Dragon Ball Super 100 episodes in, like how this is impacting the series and all this stuff. But I think I'm going to start off real quick, and then I can give it to maybe Rakurai, and then Geeklist can come in next. And then, so basically what I want to talk about is, like I was saying earlier, Dragon Ball Super, 100 episodes in, that's a really big accomplishment right there. Like, it's never really, like what I was saying, not a lot of animes tend to be 100 episodes. A lot of the time they stop at like a certain point. Their first season ends up being pretty good. The second kind of goes down in quality by season 3 or something like that. It completely, the series gets forgotten essentially, and it becomes kind of wasted at a certain point. Or, you get other series that are long enough, but usually not to the 100 mark. But Dragon Ball Super, it really did show that Dragon Ball can still be successful nowadays with all the stuff that was going on. Because Dragon Ball was kind of AFK for a little bit, because the last thing we got was GT, and that was a while ago. I think GT, it's been 20 years since, or something like that, as of today. And when Super came out, it was 18 years, so it's been a while since the Dragon Ball series. Dragon Ball was kind of dead for the most part, aside from the games. Communities still formed discussions here and there, but for the most part, we weren't really getting anything new Dragon Ball. And then, Super rolled around, we never really saw anything like it, and, before that, we saw Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, and those kind of set the bar, oh, Dragon Ball can still be successful now. But the fact that you have a series that for the first few arcs, or first 2 arcs, was kind of just recapping what we'd already seen before, so you wouldn't think they would be that successful. Fans were still tuning in to see what was going to happen next, and then look where it is now, 100 episodes in. No one would have ever seen this coming. It's really interesting to see how far it's successful. Now, what are your thoughts, Rakurai? Or you can say whatever you want now.
Alright, so first of all, I agree with you completely, and if any of y'all that are watching this video right now know me from Twitter or just know me from YouTube at all, I'm kind of a meme, right? And basically the reason that I'm kind of a meme is because I'm in a situation where the only episode of Super that I can say that I ever very adamantly disliked was episode 8. That was my only one. Trunks arc, loved it all the way through. Resurrection F, I have my issues with that arc, I really do, but I don't hate it per se. I remember when I first saw the announcement come out. I saw the huge info thing come out on Rhyme Styles channel, and it was just saying, oh, Dragon Ball Super gets announced. I wasn't that excited, which I don't think many people know. I honestly was not that excited. I was honestly scared, because I was just like, y'all literally just now announced this, and this looks like the pre-production is going to be a horrid mess, which, turned out to be true, for sure, but it ended up becoming something that I really, really loved, and sort of reinvigorated, well, not even reinvigorated, it made me realize that I really do love the franchise enough to even start a channel, to want to do these discussions everywhere and stuff like that. Super was basically what made it all click, that I realized I love this, because I always felt this thing where Super is mixing this like the sort of like lighthearted comedic vibe from the original series, and then flipping that back with the new sort of action-oriented side that Z presented, but then giving its own little spin on it. And though a lot of people don't like it, which I completely respect 100%, I've always been on that side of, it's not that I'm just grateful that a new series is out. It's not that I'm just, just completely overcome by the hype or anything like that. I've legitimately enjoyed what I've seen thus far. It's something that has introduced new concepts, new ideas, new characters that are now some of my favorite in the franchise, and just sort of this unforgettable experience that I've had. And for it to hit 100 episodes, it's a hallmark. It really is a hallmark. Just watching it every week, this religiously, and constantly defending it every week religiously. It's like taking this journey with it like that. It's just been something cool, and I'm just over here hoping I can do it for 100 more.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I definitely do agree with all the points you were saying. Like, it introduced a lot of these new things that we never really seen before, and it's putting a lot of emphasis that it's still going strong even after all this. It's introducing new things like, the Tournament of Power that's going on right now. There's potentially some other stuff that's going to happen in the future where fans are making a lot of theories about. It's really interesting to see how far it's coming right here, but for right now, I want to hear what MJ has to say on the whole, Dragon Ball Super 100 episodes, the impact of it all, and all this stuff. What are your thoughts, MJ?
It's been a roller coaster, bro. That's exactly what it's been. People have hated the show. People have loved the show. People think the show is just alright. I myself, since the beginning, since episode 1, have found myself just sitting down and enjoying the show for what it was. And for what it is. I mean, I remember a while back, it was an old ass video. I did a video called Dragon Ball Super Why the Hate. It's terrible, but if you want to go scroll through my old videos, you can find it and hear a young MJ talking about Super in the beginning. But anyways, I've always been like Rakurai. I've always just enjoyed the show for what it was. I'm not an idiot though. I see the flaws in the show. I've seen some things that made me scratch my head, but never to the point to where it kept me up at night or it made me go to Twitter to rant, you know what I mean, or to do stuff like that. I just always sat down with my drink and enjoyed the show, and we're finally at 100 episodes in. Now, episode 100 wasn't perfect, but it was really epic. I think as far as when it came down to the one-liners that almost every character had, to the epic beatdown that we saw, to a lot of the cool animation, it really made me realize that this arc, the Universe Survival arc as a whole, and I'm counting like the Zen Exhibition saga, the recruitment saga, and then the Tournament of Power saga that we're currently in right now, this whole entire arc has really made me think that Super is at its peak right now. Even if you still have issues with the show, I've talked to so many people, whether it's on Discord, Skype, or just even over the phone or over text. So many people are legitimately loving this show right now. They're legitimately tuning in every single week, and that is something special. Like I said, you're not going to get a Attack on Titan level story. You're not going to get My Hero Academia level animation every single week, or at least for the biggest fights. What you will get though is a legitimately fun, caring show that has a lot of nostalgia to it, and if you can just kind of just get your head out of the gutter just for a few minutes, about 24 minutes, you can sit down and enjoy Super for what it's worth. And I know me and Rakurai aren't the only ones, because like you mentioned, 100 episodes. There's some anime that don't even make it past 13 for one reason or another. That's a whole other discussion. I'm not going to get into that. Not necessarily because the anime was bad. I'm just saying, overall, the fact that we've made it to 100 episodes, and yeah, we've had some holes in the road, such as the ROF arc, and even the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament, for that matter, that wasn't really widely loved. That had a lot of criticism, and the same with the end of the Future Trunks arc. Even though we've had holes, overall, I gotta say, man, 100 episodes in, I'm enjoying Super right now. I really am, and like Rakurai said, I can go for many more episodes, at least in my opinion, and that's the way I see it. I know people are going to disagree. I've seen people say that Super should get canceled. I totally respect your opinion if you agree with that. I've legit seen people say that. I'm not kidding. So if you do say that, then again, I respect your opinion. Just me as of right now, and I know I'm not the only one, I legitimately tune in every single Saturday night to watch Super. That's me.
Exactly. Like, it definitely does feel like a lot of the times it feels like we're kids again, you know? We're watching on Toonami at times. It brings into that not only that nostalgia factor, but some of that fan service. A lot of newer Dragon Ball fans like myself who are a little younger, you know, it's bringing into those types of fans as well. And, you know, like the ones who maybe were introduced to Dragon Ball Z Kai or something along those lines. Maybe some of the newer video games, who knows? But either way, it's playing to all sorts of fans. There are people who were watching the series in Japanese in like in the 90s and stuff through VHS tapes or something like that, and who've been fans for over, like, let's say 20 years. And, you know, they're still enjoying this series. They're still tuning in every Saturday night or every, like, Sunday morning whenever they're watching it. And it's almost like they're kind of reliving those moments they had when they were younger, watching the show all the time, experiencing new stuff, always maybe discussing it with some other people, getting new Dragon Ball, because we love Dragon Ball for its core elements, and, you know, Dragon Ball Super definitely is putting an emphasis onto those, and even with its flaws, like what you were saying, MJ, you can still get quite a bit of enjoyment out of that, and, you know, with the 100 episodes thing, you know, the fact that we can still stay tuned in 100 episodes later, it shows that long-running shonen or shows or anything like this in general, you grow more of an attachment to the characters, and a lot of people, you know, Super's kind of growing on them. They're having more fun with the series yet again, and they're relieving their excitement as Dragon Ball fans. You know, it's pretty much my rambling.
May I say something real quick?
Yeah, of course.
This really isn't a rant. This is just more of a public speaking announcement, I guess, a PSA. And I want to, whoever's going to watch this video, please, if you hate Super to the point to where it legitimately hurts you when you watch the show, like, you know to yourself that when you tune in Saturday night at 9 o'clock or whatever time it is on Crunchyroll, and you know it's going to cause you legit pain to sit down for 25 minutes to watch Super, please stop.
Preach.
Please.
It's been 2 years. It's been 2 years.
Yeah. If you're 100 episodes in now and you still do not like the show, please just do yourself a favor and stop. Because I understand people may think, oh, well, I like Dragon Ball Z, or I like Dragon Ball, or I like GT. Whichever you like, maybe you like all three, and you just don't like Super, then please do not feel like you're hurting yourself, or you're being like, or you're being like, I guess, a negative towards your inner child. You're not able to sit down and watch Super. Please, if it legitimately hurts you and you cannot withstand watching Super, please just stop. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm a huge fan of Degrassi. It's a show that's filmed out in Canada. Loved it growing up. I know it's Degrassi, and more like a chick show, but you get the point. I love the show. Recently, they have it on Netflix. I went down to, I went into, subscribe to Netflix, and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch these new 4 seasons with all these new people, all these new characters. It's a completely new Degrassi. Let me sit down and watch it. Could not get through 2 episodes. I dropped the show.
Yeah,
if you legitimately, it's just a simple, it's a simple step, bro. If you don't like the show, just stop watching it. Exactly. I just wanted to say that for the people who are 100 episodes in and are still bitching for every single episode, for every little thing that is in that one particular episode.
I have something on that too, actually. Like Ben 10, for example. I loved the original series, and I loved Alien Force. I made it around 5 episodes through Ultimate Alien, I believe it was called, and I just couldn't do it anymore. It was so easy for me to drop it, and I know a lot of people say, well, if you're a fan of something, it'll make it to where you can't just let it go that easily. I just, again, that argument may have had a good point maybe 6 months down the line, maybe even a year down the line. I could give them that. But we are more than 2 years into this series. More than 2 years. And if you've been watching for 2 years and you're yet to find enjoyment in the show, there's literally no solid reason why you're still watching it other than just, I don't know. Like, why torture yourself, please? Like, and the thing is, when we're saying this, guys, do not take this as us saying like, oh, you're ruining our fun, stop complaining. We're not saying that at all. All that we're saying this from a sincere place here. Like, if you're honestly watching every single week and you're pained by it, then don't.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just wanted to point it out there since we are 100 episodes in. This is a milestone. So I just wanted to talk about the fact that I do enjoy this show, but also wanted to give a little PSA for the people who don't enjoy the show. Like,
Yeah.
I understand you may feel like you're a fan of, you may feel like you're dissing DBZ and the fandom if you don't watch Super, but no, bro. If this stuff is causing you pain, bro, just stop.
Exactly. Like,
Yep, exactly. 100 episodes, 2 years. It's been enough, man.
right. Yeah, like, don't force on yourself. Like, there's a reason they sell Dragon Ball Z Blu-rays. There's a reason they sell the original Dragon Ball, like, Blu-rays. You can probably find, like, if you're into, still into GT, you can find a really cheap, I'm sure there are plenty of, like, the whole complete series of GT really cheap.
I have it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cheap.
There's other ways to support
It's streaming
the series
services,
you love.
all this stuff. So if you really don't like Super, that's completely fine. It's your preference, but you can still relive Dragon Ball Z. If you don't feel like you're doing to yourself a disservice if you're dropping Super, because it's how you feel about it. You still have the original, shows that you can still watch on newer streaming platforms. So you could still, still relive those experiences. And if you want something new, well, this is what we're getting right now. Like,
Yeah.
That's one of the best parts is we're getting new material, stuff we've never really seen before, like what Rakurai was saying earlier about the whole, like, it's interesting in introducing so many new elements. Like, we've never seen the concept of, like, a god or, like, other universes or anything like that be introduced here, and it's really interesting to see how they're pretty much putting emphasis on this and make a good chunk of the series about it. Saiyans are obtaining new forms once again, but this time, there's tons of other meanings. Like, Super, it's a lot more simple. Like, you and me, Rakurai, I think we were talking on Twitter about this earlier. Like, a lot of the time, Super can seem overly simple with what it's, trying to showcase to the audience, but really deep down, there's some hidden meaning to it. Like, let's say Super Saiyan Blue is actually tranquil, Super Saiyan God is actually rage, whereas some people might see it as, just recolors. It really does depend and shows that this series can still have a deeper meaning with 100 episodes in.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people, Dragon Ball is so easy to get into, because it's really simple, and it's kind of a fact. Dragon Ball, it's a great show, it can definitely have some interesting lore going for it, but it's a simple show one way or another. It's really easy to get into, in my opinion at least, and that's why it's so beloved by fans and has such a big fan base. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
on that
completely
point,
agree.
like analysis, in my opinion at least, analysis can go far beyond what was originally intended. It can, from what is given to you on the screen, on a page, if something is there and you see it, then by all means, I think it's fair game. Because till the day that Super ends, we'll never know exactly what was going on through Toriyama's head. We still don't know what's going on through Toriyama's head right now. We don't know. So, whenever, Ninja and I say that, the forms are accidentally brilliant in how they're executed, we should be allowed to feel that way. Because it's like, you can't tell me that Toriyama, because you can't say that he intended for that, and you can't say that he didn't intend for that. There's no proof for either way, so let us analyze, fam.
exactly. Like,
By all means.
Super's also brung into a lot of other fans into the fandom, looking into a lot more, following the Dragon Ball community a lot more. And it's kind of interesting because they've watched Dragon Ball Super for 2 years consistently. It's a little side thing, not too big or anything like that, like what we were talking about earlier. But basically, it's introducing a lot more fans to the Japanese, like a lot of other, like, the thing is mostly Dragon Ball fans, for the general consensus was that, the Japanese isn't even that great. It's better just to watch the dub or Kai or something like that. But then here are fans who are watching this new, like, language they've never really, they were constantly dissing all the time. Now that they've grown attached to this, you actually see more so nowadays people generally tend to prefer or really, like, appreciate the Japanese. And I think that's one great thing as well. Super's also been playing into, like, like, you saw how, if anyone was on Crunchyroll that one day in October where, Super actually dropped on there, the site completely crashed. And I know,
It crashed.
Yeah.
it may be negative one way or another, but it's positive due to tell everyone in Japan, because you know what, this show is actually doing pretty good worldwide. We should try to push towards it more. And even though, Crunchyroll is not available in a bunch of other countries, and even though, like Anime Labs or Daisuke is not always, in certain countries, it can still push towards the series is growing more successful. And even though I'm still a little lost as to why they only went like 60-ish episodes until they officially released it, when they did do it, you could tell things were starting to go up a lot more. And animation quality, what I noticed, was starting to definitely improve. And goes to show that maybe because people are starting to actually support legal sites more and more because Super has been streaming. They've also, on Crunchyroll, you see a lot more Crunchyroll subscriptions. Crunchyroll and Verve have really been like striving after, Super dropped in and stuff. You're getting a lot more Crunchyroll subscriptions. People are going on there more compared to other sites, which I shall not name, but people have kind of not really gone on there for Dragon Ball. That's all I just say.
Yeah, but I agree with you. You can definitely tell that since Super aired on Crunchyroll, I believe it was episode 63, right?
Yeah,
it was
something
the
like
episode
that.
when Trunks fought Goku Black and Zamasu. When that happened, there definitely did feel like a shift in the atmosphere of the fandom, and I think overall it was more for the positive, at least in my opinion, from what I've gathered, like ever since then. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's been some episodes that caused a lot of criticism, but the point is, it just felt like it was more of a positive thing for the fandom. And to be honest, man, I think ever since then, I've probably liked Super the most ever since then. Yeah, like I said, 66 has some issues, with the whole Genki Dama sword and stuff. But like I said, ever since then, I just found myself tuning in. Like before, like again, on sites I'm not gonna name, I would never really,
We're not condoning piracy.
My point is, when it hit Crunchyroll, I found myself, and like I mentioned before, other people just tuning in every single Saturday night. We do it on Discord with the homies. Sometimes we watch it together. It really does feel like a positive for the community and a positive for the fandom. And ever since then, man, Super's been on a roll, at least in my opinion. Had a few holes in the road with some episodes, but like I said, positive vibes. I've enjoyed the show for what it is. 100 episodes and hopefully Nizal was right. Let's get 700 million.
Oh, that's why Dragon Ball's a One Piece here.
But I like my Goku to sound like a man.
Oh no, you never see those comments anymore, so that's good. Because they've got.
I'm joking, everyone. Please don't unsub.
That was a very long, interesting discussion that I think a lot of you enjoyed listening to, and I got all my thoughts all out here. Any remaining thoughts, Rakurai, MJ?
I would just like to say that line from episode 100 was alpha as fuck, and the line I'm referring to is when hits either run off the stage or get knocked off by me. That was such an epic line, dude.
So epic.
Yeah, it's dope.
Oh man. All right, that's my final thoughts. Episode 100 was epic, man. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it.
Rakurai, any remaining thoughts?
I do have one thing.
Yeah.
And I'll make it quick, but my main thing, if you like Dragon Ball Super, that's fine. If you dislike Dragon Ball Super, that's fine. My whole thing is just don't disrespect one another for it. It's like if you dislike the series or you dislike something that Super does, there shouldn't be any disrespect towards people who didn't have an issue with what Super did in a previous episode or something. And on the same token, it just goes vice versa. It's just, my whole point is, we all love Dragon Ball. That's why we're all here. So regardless of what series we're watching, regardless of what game we're playing, let's all just, join in a bit of unity just over the fact that we all love Dragon Ball, and it's something that we've grown up with, that we've taken passion in, and that's just where our foundation for unity lies. So let's not lose that.
Exactly.
Over the series.
Yeah,
Perfect. I couldn't have said it any better. But guys, that's been our video for you all. Like I was saying, what do you guys think of this whole Dragon Ball Super 100 episodes and its impact for not only the fandom but a lot of how everyone else perceives Dragon Ball as a whole? I would like to hear what everyone has to say about this, because 100 episodes, really big accomplishment right there, whether you like Super or not. It's interesting to see how far it's come. Congrats, Toei, for pushing towards 100 episodes. You started off from episode 5, that little thing. And then you went now to crazy animated episodes that are so well done and everything like that. Yeah, guys, that's just been a video. Hope you all enjoyed this. Make sure to check out Rakurai and MJ's channels. Both dudes make some fantastic content. Great friends of mine. I'll link in the description below. Make sure to hit that sub button for them as well. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. And Ninja out. Peace, everybody.